My presentation will be on hookworms. From hearing hookworms, you might think of tapeworms and roundworms, but they are not the same. 20 million people have tapeworms worldwide, but when looking at hookworms, an average of 650 million people have it. So why don't you know about it? While hookworms are found mostly in the southern hemisphere, with Africa and South Asia being the most prevalent places, but they are not found in the United States, which is why most of you, including me, don't know about them. So what exactly are hookworms? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention states that hookworms are an intestinal parasite of humans. The larvae and adult worm live in the small intestine and can cause intestinal disease. Here's what they look like. Discussed it yet? There are two different kinds of species, the Necator americanus that is found everywhere in the world where they have been identified, and Ankylostoma duodenale that is most prevalent in Africa, South Asia, China, and a few foci in the Americas. This is a picture of a Necator americanus, and this is one of the Ankylostoma duodenale. So who can get hookworms? Everyone can, with children and pregnant women being more susceptible to getting them. How are they transmitted? The larva first hatches and develops in the soil and then migrates to grass. From that, they can penetrate the skin, causing ground itch, and enter the bloodstream. They travel to the lungs and alveolar spaces, which causes us to cough. When they are coughed up, they are swallowed and enter the small intestine, where they mature and start feeding. They then hatch eggs, which are passed in feces, and go back to the soil for the cycle to start over again. What are signs and symptoms of this? Symptoms can vary based on the species and person. Some symptoms can include itching and localized rash, where the hookworm entered your skin. When they are in the intestines, one can experience abdominal pain, diarrhea, and irregular stool. If they are in the lungs, then one can experience coughing and hypereosinophilia. Other general symptoms can be a loss of appetite, weight loss, fatigue, and anemia. Long-term impacts can be iron deficiency anemia, protein deficiency, and for children it can lead to arrested musculoskeletal growth and cognitive development. So how is it diagnosed? Doctors will collect a stool sample and use a microscope to look for hookworm eggs. When you get symptoms, then the doctors can diagnose you or prevention treatment can be done. If they find some eggs in your stool sample, you can easily treat it. You would take medication prescribed by the doctor that are pretty effective and have few side effects. Treatment is usually for 1 to 3 days. If a person has anemia, then they can take iron supplements. Now, what are some prevention options? Wear shoes. Don't go barefooted. Also, changing agricultural practices that rely on human feces for fertilization of crops, which would help reduce dramatically the widespread distribution of hookworm in soil.